Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, whatever time you're listening in, wherever you're listening from. Shout out to my Spotify listenership, Apple and Google Podcasts, and YouTube if you're watching in. Thanks for giving me a reason to get dressed. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here. Be present and recognize that it's now, right now. Whether your right now is working, flying, running, driving, be thankful we're alive, baby. Failure can be frightening. However, as Winston Churchill reminds us, success is all about going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. This is I Will Not Lose podcast, where we set out to prove everything is learned from failure, and we must persevere and recognize it as one step closer to success. I'm your host, Tony Ortiz. Let's jump right in. Oh, shit. I ain't never seen no shit like that.
Like that, bro.
He popped a bottle cap with his teeth. That was some movie shit. I'm glad the cameras were rolling for that. I'm going to leave that
in. I'm like that,
bro. Sound good right there. All right, What's up, man?
What's going on, my guy?
How's it going?
Everything is everything, bro.
I've been listening. It's weird hearing you in speech. I've been listening to your catalog since early this morning.
Yeah.
But one thing I got to compliment you on it is you could press play. Like if somebody's just discovering Devin Hailey.
Yeah.
They could press play on the first track and just play through the whole catalog. It all sounds consistent. Like
for sure.
What was your first project in 2018?
Moment. That was actually, so technically it's not my first project. It's my first released project, right? Like I've been doing this for, a very long time. But up until that point I had never professionally released anything,
Gotcha.
So I have a whole back catalog of over 300 songs that are just there that I'm never going to do anything with, that I have released on hard copy, old mixtapes and things like that. But as far as an actual release, Moment was the first one for sure.
That's wild. I was surprised it only went back to 2018.
Yeah.
I was thinking at least 10 years, 2013 or something like that.
Right.
But it's cool. And you can hear some growth. It's consistent. The quality is consistent.
Yeah.
I will say there's a little more technical in your later stuff.
Yeah.
You've been working on, I think you've called it mathematics.
That's exactly
you're very mathematical with the flow.
Yeah.
I was just talking with FaZe earlier. The pauses.
Yeah.
And the cadence, that track you sent me, Cap.
Yeah.
It's perfect. You pause and go into the melody and keep that going.
Mm-hmm.
That really kept my attention. I was like, this is fire. I played it back.
Yeah. So the thing with that's coming out. I don't know when this is going to drop, but that's coming out in December. I want to say. But yeah, as far as the cadence goes, like you said, mathematics. For me, it's a lot about, okay, this rhymes, cool. We can say it in a linear way to where every line, clicks the same way. But I'm very calculated with how I say things, where I place things, and it has to make sense. And I was just in the lab last night and it clicked to me. It's like I'm always building. There's really never, in my verses, you never really get that climax. It's always a incline.
Yeah.
And you'll get the punchlines and the haymakers in there, but usually I lace them within that. It's never building up to one big punchline. It's just a constant, what I don't know the word, but it's a constant rise.
Rising tension.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you just never get to that point. So you're on the edge of your seat waiting for it. And then it's that bar was fire. That bar was fire. That bar. And you're waiting for the haymaker and then it hits you out of nowhere and there's still more to go. So as far as cadence and things like that goes, I'm very calculated with my approach that way. You know what I'm saying? That's very important to me, the pauses and the because it's a language, it's a conversation that we're having. I like to give you that time to take a step back and oh shit, yeah, that was hard. And then you jump back into it and then there's more and it's you take a step back. Oh man. All right, let's go for the next one.
Well, you even account for switch.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I kid you not, I said it one day in 2012 on a verse. I was like, oh, that's fire. And I just kept saying it. I said it in like a hook or something. It was either the verse. I want to say it was the hook, but it might have been the verse. But I played it for the bro because I knew it was hot, but I was like, that's just a one-off, ad lib. Then I played it for the bro, and he was like, yo, that switch shit is dope. Because I try to position it to where the beat is changing, or the pattern is changing, or the rhyme scheme is changing, or the subject is changing. So I'm very selective with it. There's times where I just throw it out because it works and it sounds good. And I'm actually in the process of like finding a new ad lib to use in those spots. But the switch is kind of a signature trademark of Devin Hailey.
It's a trademark for sure.
And if you ever heard anybody else say it, you know where they got it from, bro.
I was hoping you had an answer like that. I hope you were like, oh yeah, that's the new slang that they've been talking for 10 years. I'm like, nah, I never. That's dope. That's dope. So let's see. We got It Sounds Consistent. I want to go the way I have my notes. I go into your latest album and then I go into top 5. But I actually want to switch that up. I want to talk with top 5 first because that's kind of like it's bars. It's weird. Like when you open up with him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so refreshing to hear a structure in a freestyle.
Yeah.
It's like a concept within it. Mm-hmm. So for those of you that haven't heard it, Devin goes through and puts all sorts of metaphors with the word him. Him Carey, him Parsons. See the Big Bang. I'm him Parsons.
That's the one. That's the one.
And it was dope when you open up, like, can't even be themselves. How the fuck they gonna be him?
Yeah.
That just had me so ready for the album. I'm like, this is super dope. So to a lot of rappers will go out and put out a dope freestyle and it has the video, they put everything together, it's going crazy on TikTok.
Right.
But it's just bar after bar.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm almost barred out in 2023. Like,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. These days, I'm kind of like, I'm sticking to my guns as far as my style goes. I don't really see the industry coming back around to lyrical rap. I just don't see it. Yeah, I feel like it's a little too far gone to go back. It's like the Matrix. Everybody's just stuck there. There's a select few that see the other side and know the other side. And once they get out of the Matrix, they don't want to go back. But the majority of people, they're stuck there. And that's okay. Different strokes for different folks. But for me, it's like nothing else matters. Because when it's all said and done, when they go back in history and study rap music and they look at the whole story, the things that stand out and that are going to stand the test of time are the lyrical MCs. We're going to be here forever because it's timeless. Saying dope shit is timeless. It doesn't matter what generation you're in. If it's fire, then it's just fire and it resonates through time,
Yeah.
So for me, like I said, nothing else matters, be it a visual, the hook, the whatever. Like I used to tell my like the artists that are under me, if we can't listen to your shit a cappella and still be blown away, what are we doing this for? If you can't strip everything away and still be amazed, something's not right. And we need to figure out how to make that. Even in R&B, a lot of R&B today, you take the beat away, it sounds crazy. Back in the day, you take the beat away, you still have incredible vocalists. Those are going to be the people that stand the test of time and that are, those are going to be the fossils that they discovered in 50, 100 years. They're going to go back and be like, oh my God, like Anthony Hamilton was incredible. You know what I'm saying? He might not be popping right now, in the world of the Janae Aikos and the Brent Faiyaz, but the vocals from that man, they're going to last forever. And that's how I feel about, the bars and the lyrics. Like they're going to last forever, no matter what. Yeah. So that's why it's so important to me.
So you could almost take even the vocals out and just look at the lyrics written themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like,
take it a step further. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Scripture. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter who's saying it. It doesn't matter what was happening around it. That is going to matter forever, you know? So
yeah, no, I love that line when he says, all I know is bars that talk in long sentences.
Yeah. And that's a real thing.
So when you have the whole, you embody your music, this is your thing. This is your, it kind of becomes your personality. It's almost duality. Like your personality affects the music and the music affects your personality.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's cool to see that sort of like back and forth where just writing would make you speak more eloquently. Yeah. Or like it's a trade-off. Yeah,
no, for sure. And oftentimes I find myself saying a bar and then using that in real life. Like, as a motto or a fact of life. Like I've done that oftentimes. And then a lot of times I'll be saying things in real life and then it ends up in a bar. So it's like they just play off of each other,
That's super dope.
Yeah.
Does it work as therapy for you? Or do you, is it tiring?
I just had this talk last night. So it's hard to, in the latter years of my, of doing this, it's a little hard for me to say that I love it because I know everything that comes with it. I know the headache that comes with it. It's like a lot of people are in jobs and careers that they are very, interested in. But after a while, it's like, do I love it still? Now, I do it at the rate that I do it because I feel like it's a disservice to the culture and the art form and the people around me to not, because I've gotten this good. So to stop is like, what are you doing?
Makes sense.
But at the same time, it is a lot of work. Like a lot of people don't know or realize, like my close circle knows, but I don't write any of this down. Like this is all done in my head. Like I haven't written a single verse in like, it's 2023, probably like 14, 15 years.
What, all your lyrics? You don't write anything down?
I don't write anything down.
Get the fuck out of here.
Anything down. It's all put together in my head. And like, I don't freestyle it just coming off, I don't just rapidly just go.
Okay. So that's still impressive.
So I'll get in there and I'll do 12 bars in my head, lay it down. Maybe come back and do 8 bars, lay it down. Sometimes I do 2 bars and then sometimes I'll do 30 bars and lay it down. But either way, it's nothing is being written. So with that's not easy because I'm really in there in real, like that whole top 5 project. What people don't realize is that wasn't premeditated and I wasn't sitting at home taking my time writing it and what goes here. No, I'm really in the lab going bar for bar. Like the bars that are in there is what came to me in that moment.
In the studio.
So those 4-minute verses, those were real right there, right then and there. I didn't have those written for a month and then go in and record it and make it sound hot. Like, no, those are one takes. Those are first takes. And I just go. So that's work in itself. A lot of people don't realize that. I'm a little envious to artists that write still because you have the freedom to do it anywhere. I don't do that. Like I might come up with a bar here and there. I might come up with an idea or a scheme here and there. But a lot of times those bars don't make it into the actual song because once I'm in the lab, I'm not feeling that anymore. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of other artists, they have that advantage that they could just sit and write for 5 hours a day and they got 1,000 verses and this and that. Me, it's like, nah, what you see is what you get in real time, So yeah, it's work. So with that, you got to think about it and it's like, all right, am I having fun? Not necessarily. Because I'm making sure, like everything is calculated. I'm making sure what I say is fire, You know what I mean? And that's where the whole idea of the project came from, the no fun intended. Like, yeah, it's the game. So it's presented and it's made out to look like it's fun. But in all reality, there's no fun intended in this whole lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's work, you know? So.
Yeah. No, I can respect that. I've seen the work. I've seen how long it takes. And, you know, even then, you're still at the point where you have the freedom to release and choose your dates.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be held for a long time. So the fact that you make it fresh, if you will, that's actually pretty dope. So people can follow and go from there. Well, Die For Me, that's not on top 4. That's on the actual album.
Yeah, that's on the album.
That's my favorite track of all time, man. That grew on me so much. Just from the beat. The beat's like hypnotic as soon as you get into it.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, it was a little bit like a slower cadence, but every word mattered.
Mm-hmm.
And then that switch.
Yeah.
You had the TikTok or the reel going of that switch. That's what that was the hook for me to the album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's interesting to do those switch ups, and big shout out to your producer, FaZe.
Yeah.
You know, blending stuff and just being able to make something playable all the way through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Some of it even has a little R&B vibe. Do you sing?
I do.
Is that you on I Choose You?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do.
Okay.
I do all my hooks. The only hook that there's a few hooks that I haven't done. And usually I'm going to, if it's not LaGuida J, who's on my latest project, who's incredible as well. If it's not her, then I'm going to Black Rose, who is a writer, producer. He's written for Casey and JoJo. He was running around with my dad and my uncle for a while, and he had his thing going. He's now working with his son, the Roses. He's an incredible vocalist, and he's an uncle to me. He's like an uncle to me. So if it's not him or LaGuida J, then I'm doing my hooks. Yeah, I've take very much pride in my approach and my ability to write and perform vocally, you know, in a more melodic realm, not just doing the auto-tune thing and all of that. Like, no,
you were singing.
I'm stacking vocals. I'm doing stuff like that. But that's where I come from, like with my dad and things like that. Like, I do have some shoes to fill with that. So if I'm gonna do it, I have to do it the right way because of the legacy. You know what I mean? That's
fair enough, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. You could definitely tell you respect the craft. There's a lot of stuff with just callbacks and things, like even the track 1520 Sedgwick Ave to name it that, and go and then have like the beat with the bells. Mm-hmm. That was dope. So thank you for that.
For sure.
I want to see. Do you know what's funny? 5'3".
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out what the hell that meant. I was trying to figure out the significance. I was going through. I was like, man, that's something I got to listen back to and see. And
it's very much on the nose.
And I was like, I was writing it down, and I was going to ask you, and then I'm like, oh shit, Top 5 Volume 3. That's funny.
Yeah.
But I definitely enjoyed that project. I listened to it a whole bunch of times, and then it had me ready for the new ones. Now, I had heard of you. I had heard your music in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I never went and checked out a full album. I never checked any of that until earlier this year.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Anybody that hasn't listened to you, there's plenty of catalog to go back from. Yeah. And none of it's almost better, because if you had stuff from 15 years ago, it's hard to tell somebody go back and listen to the first thing, especially if they're attracted to what you're putting out now.
Exactly.
So that's why I had to shout out the consistency. So I want to get into the latest album, in which you got way more personal than just being a rapper. You know, this was the story. This was like you had the track Harris versus Hailey.
Yeah, for sure.
Were you always so did the I don't even know how to say it. Like, did you become introspective over time?
Yeah, I did. I was a loose cannon back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I really mean like 5-6 years ago. I was a little off the rails, kind of lost, didn't really know where I was going, wasn't really taking heed to where I've been. And I, that affected relationships, friendships, that affected my mental. And it wasn't until this past year or two where I really took a step back and said, okay, you're really grown up now. What are you actually doing with not even your life, with yourself, with your physical body? What are you actually doing? And it's never easy to open up like that, especially in a public form. It's, like an album or mixtape, whatever you want to call it. But it was something that was needed. I had a few projects that I did before this that I scrapped, like completely scrapped, because it still wasn't as personal as I knew I needed to get for myself.
Yeah.
Like I had to give myself a therapy session. And the songs that I was doing, they're great songs. They're gonna release, eventually. They're just evergreen songs. They're just good. They're timeless, right? But I knew, like, okay, that's not enough. You can dig way deeper and really tell your story. And people have been telling me for years, like, yo, you got a story, you got to tell it. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna wait till the time is right. And it's like, no, there's never a right time because the story is ongoing. So it's like, even whatever story you tell right now, 5 years from now, there's going to be more to add to it. So just let it go. You know what I mean? And yeah, just changing environments and changing the people that I was around really made me look at things and say, okay, no matter where you are, you're still dragging all this with you. You got to let it off. You got to get it out. You could change, you could go anywhere. You're still you, no matter where you are. And until you identify that and let it out and cleanse, you're going to remain in those patterns and with those habits. So with a joint like Harris versus Hailey, that's really me looking at it like, okay, Devin Hailey's this way. Devin Harris is this way. Because Hailey's my dad's last name. Harris is my mom's last name. But I have my mom's last name. That's my given name, Devin Harris. Devin Hailey is the stage name. So, the duality of that, the dynamic of that is like, okay, you've been being Devin Hailey for a very long time, but that's not actually you though. Now you have to show them who Devin Harris is. And then you can always go back to Devin Hailey, but Devin Harris is like scratching like he's trying to get out.
Yeah.
So I had to let him out. And that's where you get a project like No Fun Intended.
Super cool, man. Super cool. Now, do you know what the song that hit me the hardest was? Liquid Intentions.
Yeah.
Some of my listeners know and stuff. I'm an alcoholic.
Okay.
So I'm actually going on 2 years. January will be 2 years. So I'm it's been a while since I had my last drink.
Yeah.
And so that struggle, that listening to it, even the chorus, when you know what I mean, like you talk about your pops, it was like, it was just super personal. I'm like, and that's a lot to go out and put, like my listeners know, but there's going to be people that hear that take and they're like, oh shit, I had no idea. You know what I mean? I don't really put it out there like that, but to hear some of your earlier music where you're talking about drinking, smoking, you know what I mean? It's like, it was crazy to hear that evolution where it's like, okay, it's like, you don't regret the choices you make. Like, I don't wish to shut my past away or anything like that, but that was cool.
Yeah.
You gotta like go on that.
I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm I'm not perfect, right? I still do enjoy my brews. I still do enjoy the twist one at the end of the night. If I'm in the lab, I'm doing both, you know. But as I said, it comes a point where you have to identify your shortcomings and the decisions that you're actually making.
Yeah.
And, that is the root of change. If you can at least identify a problem or the problem, you're on your way to changing. It might take you another 20 years, but at least you know that, okay, this is a choice now. I'm choosing to live like this. I'm not just going with the wind. No, I'm choosing to do this. I may or may not have a problem, but I'm choosing to do it. I know that exists. With a song like Liquid Intentions, that's me. I don't want to say it's like a cry for help, because it's really not, but it's me just making people aware, like, okay, this is my reality. I feel like I gotta get by, that's just how I feel. Like, niggas is bored, grab a brewski, you know what I'm saying? And that's where that comes from. I think that what makes that song so intriguing is also the beat, how it's more of like, you wouldn't expect that subject matter on that beat. That beat is a more playful beat.
Yeah.
The cadence is a lot more, jumpy, back and forth. So yeah, that song is very important to me too, because that's something I've never touched on in music. And I still do the bars where I'm rapping about the beers, and I just had a bar last night. I said like 40 in the car, we gonna tilt that whole shit. My bro got the bricks, he done built this whole shit, stuff like that. But that's Devin Hailey talking to you. That's Devin Hailey with the bars saying that. Devin Harris is gonna say, if my pops could get over it, I can. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, get out of here, Devin Hailey. Like, Devin Hailey is like the devil on my shoulder, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, he keeps me, but I need it. I need him because that's the spark. Devin Harris doesn't have much of a spark. Devin Harris wants to be at home with his girl, with his kids, watching, the Avengers and all of that. Devin Hailey wants to be outside and be on stage somewhere and, things like that. So it's, like I said, the duality, that's really, it's the driving force of the project and songs like that, Yeah,
it's like, oh man, there is a lot of conflict and going back and forth.
Yeah.
That actually just hit me right now. Yeah. And I listened to it a bunch of times. That's wild.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get into The Plan. Mm-hmm. That's probably my favorite off this album. If not, I mean, Die For Me is dope. But like you said, when people are really looking to do your autobiography and figure out who was this person, who was this artist, and deep dive, they're going to listen to The Plan.
Exactly.
They're going to be like, this is a really big part of his life. You know what I mean? So you want to go, for people that haven't listened to, we'll get into listening to some music in a second, but for people that haven't listened to The Plan, you want to go on that, like the concept behind it?
Yeah. So, if I'm being 100% honest, ever since I made the move to California, it kind of put a strain on my personal relationships. Some friends, some family, but mainly my kids, mainly my oldest. He knows what's up. He knows he's not a baby. He knows when you're there. He knows when you're not. You know what I'm saying? He's a very bright and sharp kid. And like I said, there's a bit of a strain on the relationship, and it's kind of a tough conversation to have with the child.
Yeah.
Because they don't get it. All they get is what they see and don't see. So you can say, oh, I'm just going for a little bit, I'll be back. They hear that.
Yeah.
But you're not there. So it really doesn't even matter what you're actually saying to them. And with the plan, it was like, okay, because that's another thing. I don't really talk about my kids a lot in my music. I might mention, but I don't talk about them because it's just personal. And Devin Hailey is not a very personal guy. Like, nobody really knows much about Devin Hailey. So with the plan, it was like, all right, I want to do this, but I got to do it in the right way. I don't want to talk about my kids. I have this thing where I tell people, like, stop talking above the topic. Like stop talking about the topic and talk to the person or the issue. Like, solve the issue with your words. Don't talk about the issue. I don't know if I'm even wording that right, but I didn't want to talk about them. I wanted to talk to them.
Right.
And that's a theme in a lot of my music. Like, you hear a lot of yous. I don't do a lot of they, you know what I mean? It's very direct, my bars. And I feel like that's why they resonate with people a lot, because I'm talking directly to the person. Right. So with that, it's like, yeah, let me talk to them and let me just bear it. I'm going to just bear it all. You know, I'm going to touch on everything that I can within that 3-4 minutes. And the crazy part about that song is that second verse, which is like 24 bars, 28 bars or something like that. I only had half of it, and I sent it to Phase to mix. But then I was like, nah, it doesn't feel right.
Okay.
It felt incomplete. So I actually went in and added like another 16 or whatever to the verse. And that song is very important to me. And I wasn't sure how people were gonna react to it. I thought it was gonna be like, man, get out of here. We all got situations with our kids and all. Nobody want to hear that. But the reception from it is actually very warming. Like, that's the one song that always comes back and people are like, yo, nah, that's the one. That's the one I like the most. And I didn't think it was gonna be that one. So I think that's really dope. And I actually showed it to my youngest before it was done, before that last part of the second verse was done. And it brought him to tears. The kid was 7 years old. It brought him to tears. So I said, okay, if I could bring a 7-year-old kid to tears, you know, by talking to him on a song, I think I know what I'm doing here, you know?
Yeah, no, it's super relatable.
Yeah.
I have, my son's been on the podcast. Okay, I'm in his life, but he hasn't lived with me for years now.
Right.
And so, especially it's like, you know, the time you want to spend with him, especially with the holiday coming up and things like that. But I actually, I left for a performance on his birthday, on his, I think it was his second or third, might even been later than that. But, you know, I did the party thing and then left afterwards. We went to New Yorican Poets Cafe and performed. And it just hit me shortly after that. Like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? It'd be one thing if this was paying some sort of bills or doing something that I could justify, this is why I'm doing it. But I'm really, you know, at least for me, I was having fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was like I had to be somewhere else, which is ironic because now my son's 13. He wishes I still spit. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? I mess around and do a little something here and there with him, and he loves it. So I'm like, you know, maybe, but yeah, no. So that was a lot. I mean, for it to relate to me, for as much of the album to relate to me, I know it relates to a lot of people. Right. Even if they don't, man, even if people aren't alcoholics, people drink and everybody's had a night where they're like, man, did I drink too much?
Yeah, like, what am I doing? Why did I do that?
That's not who I want to be or something. So it wasn't like, you don't got to be hardcore to go into that or anything like that.
Right.
But one of the things I appreciate about your mastery of the craft is you paint a picture, like whether it be the samples with the beats or whatever. But at the one part you were talking about, like it was 7 past 11, Dada was spitting. I felt like I was, and I think that came right after the Dada verse, or that was in the feeling. What was the other song you were talking about?
The track list I would have to look at. So the thing with bro, with Dada, so he just came home. He just did a bid. He came home after like 3 or 4 years. So I had to get him on that joint. And then a lot of what I do is like Easter eggs. There's a lot of Easter eggs in my bars. So I'm gonna say Dada was doing this, X, Y, and Z. So people are like, yo, who's Dada? Who's that guy? He was spitting. It was hot. I gotta hear that. I gotta hear this guy.
Yeah, then the track comes on with him.
Right. And then with the 7 past 11 and that liquor was hitting. I love doing that. I love involving the people around me in my bars and just telling the story, whether I'm just making it up or it actually happened.
Yeah.
You know, I love doing that. And I love continuity. Like I said, I'm a huge fan. I'm a nerd, bro. Like I love wrestling. I love, you know, superhero movies and comic book, you know, so
yeah,
those stories never end. And I feel like I'm telling, like when you rap, if you're doing it the right way, you're telling a never ending story. So things like that is like, that's like a play-by-play breakdown of an episode in this story. You know what I mean? So I really enjoy doing joints like that, you know, walking you through a night of what went down or how I was feeling that night in that specific time. You know what I mean? I find pure enjoyment in that. I really do.
That was cool. The other thing you always fall back onto, and I don't have this written down, but being in the studio with moccasins or flip flops, or something like that.
That's real. Like it's real. You know what I mean? Like I'm really walking around the lab, tank top, messy, hair's all messed up. Like the bars sound pristine, but if you were to see me in the lab, you'd be like, "Yo, this guy's a bum. What is he doing?" Like, put on some clothes.
That won't make the TikTok. I see you just pull the hoodie and zip it when you do the TikTok. No, that's how I am when I'm designing. But I say in my intro, you know, if you're watching in, thanks for giving me a reason to get dressed. Because when you're on, and I choose to do a video version of this podcast, but it could be just audio. You know what I mean? I could do it remote and have people not even here, but I'm like, no, you know, I want to put together, I want to have hot water on for the tea. I want to make it. And then the next time you come through, it's like, just open the door and come downstairs.
Exactly.
It's like it's family. So that's at least the show or the environment, the network that I try to create. But yeah, man, I could definitely see the feeling in my head. We could get into some music in a second. I didn't run a timer, so I don't know how long we've been running, but we could throw on some music. Do you if you throw it on your phone, I could add it in post.
I could do that.
You want to listen to some old shit or some new shit?
So I'm working on the tape. I'm working on Greedy Season 2. I sent you the one I sent you earlier. What was that? The
Cap and
I sent you Cap.
Secret
Recipe. Yeah. I don't want to play that one. That one's
no. If it's not finished, don't. If it's not finished, don't. Right, you don't gotta play those.
Yeah, let's do one of the mixes. So the thing with those mixes that I just the Cap joint, we're actually, and this will probably drop before, so this will probably be like the first announcement of it. But we're actually launching the deluxe version of No Fun Intended. We're adding. I think I'm adding 5. I think it's 5, but it might be 6 songs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, just songs that didn't really make the cut, but still fit the overarching, you know, story.
You can do like a disc 2.
Right. Something like that. So like, even with the song Cap, what if I told you I'm famous? I see your life is simple. Let me change it. But the whole song is pretty much me saying, nah, but you're too far away. Like I'm not doing a long distance relationship kind of thing, and that
your geography is a problem,
right? And that fits into the whole No Fun Intended. Like you want things to work for you, and you have this idea in your mind that it's just going to be easy, but then geography plays a part. I'm always moving around. You're in one spot. You can't come out all the time. I can't make it to you all the time. I'm always doing things, you know. So just I hope the one thing that people take away from this is that us artists, it's not all fun and games, you know, in the industry, and it's really hard to maintain those relationships and to get people to trust that you actually care about them and do love them, because it's actions speak louder than words. But I feel like as an artist, a lot of times the words mean more than the actions because you're restricted. There's only so much you can do because you're pretty much an on-call entertainer, you know? So yeah, I hope that people can take that away. But no, I'll play the Cap joint because I love that. I love that song.
I'm gonna, my phone's recording, but I was going back and forth with FaZe on that Cap joint this morning.
Yeah.
I'll show you off camera what I was talking with him about.
Yeah, it's for sure a joint, bro. Like I love it. I love the song
that shit
so
is
much.
gonna hit.
Yeah, I think so. I don't put it on. Dude is a genius, bro.
Like the pitch blend.
Yeah. And what's ill with FaZe is he just sends me 4-bar loops. He doesn't construct the beat. He just sends a loop, and I loop it, and I just do a whole
What
song.
if I told you I'm famous? I see your life is simple, let me change it. Baby, put me on your playlist. I told you I'm evil. I just wanna roll my diesel. Don't wanna be around people, and you just like me. Girl, I love it when you talk spicy. Baby, don't hurt me, you striking. But you too far. You too far away. Yeah. Hit tomorrow, but gone today. Up for hours, I'm puffin' sour. I drank a shitload, thinking about relationship goals that wasn't ours. If I sent you a dozen flowers, they died by the time they got to your door. Good Lord, if they even found you. I love everything about you besides your geographical location. Sweetie, that's a complication. Love is music, let's make a compilation. But you gon' have to hop on the interstate then. Let me know which airline you taking, how long you stayin'. This ain't no vacation. I'm way too grown for a vacation. I know you way too long to stay patient. I ain't one of the niggas that just blazes and stays in the days while he plays his PlayStation. Come fuck with Dev, the bed is way spacious. You got the wide load, I be the way station. Yeah.
Papi, ¿qué tú haces? Yo quiero verte esta noche, pa' que me lo hagas rico.
We can try.
Tú sabes que te necesito.
Yeah. What if I told you I'm famous? I see your life is simple, let me change it. Baby, put me on your playlist. I told you I'm evil. I just wanna roll my diesel. Don't wanna be around people, and you just like me. Girl, I love it when you talk spicy. Baby, don't hurt me, you striking. But you too far. You too far away. Yeah. Hit tomorrow, but gone today. Up for days, I was puffing haze. I drank a shitload, watching this relationship go up in the blaze. I had something to say, but why did it just slip my mind? You got me lost, I'm stuck in my ways. I promise you there's gonna come a day when I pick up the phone and you say you on your way. But if you can't stay long, then don't stay. Baby girl, I joke, but I don't play. It's black or white, girl, there ain't no shades of gray. You 50,000 miles away, this ain't no 50 shades of gray. Love is blind, but I ain't trying to find my way. If I could fly, I wouldn't fly to you, I'd probably fly away. You think you got a lock on me? You wanna play, but the pause for you is stopping me. Switch. My life is a prophecy. If you ain't here to look me in my eyes, then you not for me. What if I told you I'm famous? I see your life is simple, let me change it. Baby, put me on your playlist. I told you I'm evil. I just wanna roll my diesel. Don't wanna be around people, and you just like me. Girl, I love it when you talk spicy. Baby, don't hurt me, you striking. But you too far. You too far away. Yeah. Hit tomorrow, but gone today.
I'll play another one off the
That's dope.
Off the deluxe.
And that was Cap coming off the deluxe. No,
that's
fun
not
intended.
the name of it though. That's not the name of it.
Bad,
that's
bad,
just
bad.
So the way it works is FaZe just names his shit random words and letter combinations, right?
Yeah.
That's how he names his beats. So it's the
It was
hardest
like
thing.
Dev Cap _ 03.
It's hard. It's so hard for me to go in because I'll be in the lab with him and he'll make a beat or he'll play a beat and I'm like, yo, that's fire. And he's like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. And I'm like, all right. And I try to remember it. And then I pull up the folder and it's just 10,000 random words. And it's like, I'm never going to find that beat.
Nah,
you know what I mean? So I don't name the songs until they release.
Okay.
Like I'm not the guy that's like, yo, I want to name a song this and then write a song about that. It's like, nah, whatever I say, I'm going to find something in the song and then name it that. Or when it with a joint like 1520 Sedgwick, there's nothing to name it. So I just got to name it something significant. A joint like 5-3, there's nothing to name that. I got to name it something that just makes sense. You know what I mean? So that's usually the last piece of the puzzle whenever I'll have that, the artwork, the track list, and then the day that I'm putting it out, the day I'm uploading it, it's like, all right, what the fuck am I going to name?
Yeah, what is this going to be named?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. I'll play one more. that I had, I did this back then and I just cleaned it up and made it, fit what I got going on now. But yeah, this has been laying around for a while.
I never lied to you. You never lied to me. You told me I'm yours. Why would you choose me? We would talk all night. You fell asleep on the phone, but I never closed my eyes. I think I'm better off alone.
Who's that on the hook?
That's me.
That is you? You got some range there.
A little bit.
Touch it, maybe you'll change my mind. Throw it back, let me catch the vibe. I'll give it back, intensified. Thinking about you was intellectual exercise. I left for time, but then I came back. Wish I could erase that. I left you with teardrops. Now I gotta face that. Yeah, round and round we go. This shit is like a racetrack. No matter how long we drive, we on our way back. We had some great chats, cause I know you from way back. I gave you food for thought, and baby you ate that up. We talked about the world, you said what you hate and love. And while we was making love, you let me know how special I am. Give me the green light, I need life, I want you, but I know I don't need you and that don't seem right. Switch, and as fucked up as it may sound, I don't pick up cause you stayed down, and maybe I don't deserve you. I'm not thinking straight, so I curve you. You been through enough, I can't hurt you. Can't have that on my mental, so I tread gentle or don't tread at all. I don't wanna get involved and get it wrong. Blame it on my pride, your presence is desired if you oblige. I'ma be right there with you while you arrive. I'm dead to you, but you too can thrive. A mind is the best place to be alive. I took a ride, I'm sliding with the tribe. This game is do or die, I don't think you'd survive. How many times will I let it die and you let it slide? At least I'm honest with you, yeah. I never lied to you. You never lied to me. You told me I'm yours. Why would you choose me? We would talk all night. You fell asleep on the phone, but I never closed my eyes. I think I'm better off alone.
All right, man.
That's like
That
only
was
the
dope.
second time I listened to that mix too. That's crazy.
That had like it wasn't a poppy feel. It was like I would say more commercial than poppy. Like it that could go. I could hear that on radio.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was just having a talk with the bros last night about the word mainstream. And it's like, everything is mainstream. If you put the money behind it and put it in people's faces, it then becomes mainstream.
Yeah, they don't like get together and conspire on this is going to be the sound for the next 10 years.
They do, but as far as artists go, we're in a position now where we're all on the same Spotify, we're all on the same Apple Music.
Mm-hmm.
If we just put the money behind it, we're all mainstream. There's really no such thing as underground anymore because it's available for the world. No matter, like, underground used to be, you can only find it in barbershops.
Yeah.
In corner stores.
The corner store, the $5 mixtapes.
Right. Now underground is just your beat selection and your rapping style. So it's more of a genre than a category now. And it's like, it used to be underground and mainstream. Now, like, I'm on the same platforms as Jay-Z. Like, and I'm only using him because he's like let's use Drake. You're on the same platforms as Drake, right?
Yeah.
Drake and Beyonce, you're on the exact same platforms as them. How are you not mainstream? The only thing that makes it not mainstream is you're not putting the money behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if Lil Uzi does a boom bap beat tomorrow and puts it on the radio, then that's a mainstream hit. It's Lil Uzi.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's more so just what you're doing with the actual music that makes it mainstream than anything. And I feel like a lot of people get wrapped up in the idea of like, I gotta make you don't gotta make nothing. You just gotta put the money behind it.
I just look at it as like what the most people would like, and there's a reason why they choose what to put the money behind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if I go and I look at like an underground I fucking love underground music.
Yeah.
So you go and you have like, I'm trying to think, like, not everybody could listen to everybody. You know what I mean?
Let's
if you
use
listen
Rock
to who I
Marcy.
haven't,
Rock Marcy, you know Rock Marcy, right?
I don't
Rock
know.
Marciano, he's fire.
Put me on.
He's fire. He's fire. But yeah, like, I don't know. I just look at it differently because,
like, if everybody could listen to it versus, like, you know what I mean? If you played it for 100 people.
I agree, but my approach is, if all the top rappers just start making boom bap, then that's the popular sound, because
Yeah.
who else are y'all gonna listen to besides the most popular rappers? You know what I'm saying? Like, the artists are in control of, what gets heard and what crosses over. Yeah, the labels and the powers that be, for sure. But it's like, if everybody stopped smoking crack, if everybody stopped doing drugs tomorrow, the drug problem is done. If everybody just stopped buying drugs from dealers, drug dealers would not exist. Like, it's that black and white. That's really how I look at things. So if all the artists band together and create a union, if all the Drakes and all the Kendricks and the Coles, and they said, yo, we're only doing this. You can't tell me nothing. They can't. I'm only doing this. The whole culture changes. The artists are still in control. The listeners think they're in control when they say, oh, nobody want to hear that shit. No, you don't want to hear that. Because if Drake starts doing only boom bap and you're a diehard Drake fan, then guess what you then become a fan of? Boom bap.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the choice, actually. Now you think you do, because you can turn off whoever and turn on whoever. But like I said, if they're all doing one thing, and that's the same thing with trap. Everybody's doing trap. So now we have it in our minds that that's the
mainstream.
Yeah. But if everybody just pivots and switches to something else, then that's the new, so the artists are really in control. That's, if I could walk away today without, with saying one thing, one heavy thing, it's like, artists, you have the control to make whatever it is you make. You might not be the next Kodak Black. You might not have that appeal, but nobody's tombstone is going to read, he was lit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, people's tombstone is going to say, an intelligent man, a wise man, a thoughtful person. But if you're not being that, then you're just lit. And nobody's putting that on tombstones. It's just going to say your name. And then you're going to die for nothing. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just how I look at it. They try to put artists, they try to pigeonhole artists and put them in a corner and try to put them in there. Oh, I got a writer. I'm bringing a writer in. The fuck you bringing a writer in for? Have you not heard my hooks on my other joints? That, like, the reason I'm here in your studio is because you trust my judgment. The fuck are you bringing in a writer for? Oh, because you think I need, you want me to make that kind of shit. That's what it is. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that all.
Well, the artists are in control. And I heard you on FaZe's show talking about that. Like, if you have a music, put that out, because the listener could be connected with the artist now. You know what I mean? Like, people are searching for stuff that sounds like your stuff. If they, even Spotify has a great way of recommending underground artists. Like, I would have never thought, but I spin their AI DJ and it gives me somebody new that's that I've never heard of behind something. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But
for sure.
we're gonna start landing the plane here soon. I think this was a great talk.
Yeah.
Got to go through some music, get to know a little bit about you yourself.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, and what do you have coming up that you want to plug?
Right now we're rolling out Greedy Season 2. Or Volume 2. I don't know. It'll probably just be 2 because I got the top 5 volume series. So we're doing Greedy Season 2, and then we're doing No Fun Intended Deluxe Edition. And we're gonna have some dope things to go with that, as far as like merch and different types of hard copies and things like that. So those 2. I got a few more singles dropping at the top of the year, And I don't know if you've seen, but I'm starting to roll out my Diesel 991 Productions.
I saw that,
imprint.
but I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, so
it's the yellow and black.
Yeah, it's pretty much just right now. It's just a small production company that I'm launching. I have a few artists that I'm going to launch under that. And of course, FaZe is involved in the producing and stuff like that. And my guy Bud Mugga, he's doing some of the producing too. But yeah, I got a few artists that I'm trying to launch under that, really just to plant my feet in the more administrative branch of the industry.
Okay.
Because I'm just getting to the point in my career where I want to help, and I feel like I have a lot of knowledge that I could pass on.
Yeah, man.
And I could say, hey, you don't do that. Try it this way. Let me do this for you. If you like it, cool, take it. You know what I mean? Just things like that. And of course, it's my guy Dada, who I'm going to be working with. My original group from back in the day that I started, Home Entertainment, I'm relaunching that, and that's all my bros that I used to rap with. Yeah, so it's just things like that. They're gonna be all over the Greedy Season 2 mixtapes. You're gonna hear from them soon. And yeah, just Diesel, Home Entertainment, Greedy Season 2, No Fun Intended Deluxe, and yeah.
Damn, man, that's a lot of shit.
Yeah, no, it's
got a lot going on.
I'm in a point now where I want to work. Like I said, I'm this good for a reason, and I feel like I owe it to the world to just keep feeding them and just giving them work. Like, God blessed me with this talent. He didn't bless me with this talent for me to be one of those guys who's like, yeah, I ain't dropping. They not ready. They not ready for it. Like, that's corny. Like, nah, I really rap like this. I'm leaving here. I'm going to the lab to really rap the way I rap. You know what I mean? It's not a gimmick. So why not just put it all out? Lay all your chips on the table. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it all land correctly.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Even though I don't post the episodes before they're ready to go. Like, we'll take a picture, we'll take a promo. Cool. But I feel like until the link is ready, that I could just tap or swipe and click and see it. What do I need to now? It's different with music or something like that. That it's like, I'm not going to check for something that I just heard of the first time. Yeah. But I'll go and I'll look back at episodes from February, and it's like, oh man, the downloads are going off. Somebody found it, whether it was the title or whatnot. Right. Trust me, we were going to make the whole interview about Diddy. We were going to talk about AI rap. Like, I was going to make it a culture podcast now. But for real, I think people could definitely take from your message, take from your lessons, the fact of even just becoming introspective. Like, that's a huge level up in life for anybody to be able to be like, I can start looking at myself. I mean, I only really started doing that maybe 2 or 3 years ago or so. Once I put down the alcohol.
And it's not easy. It's not easy to look yourself in the mirror and be like, you're fucking up. Like, you dropped the ball. To tell yourself that, because we all live in this weird reality where we make excuses for we won't tell anybody we're making excuses for ourselves, but we make excuses for ourselves. Like, nah, I am tired today. I did work last night. I do deserve this. You know what I mean? Yeah. We convince ourselves into making bad decisions. And like I said, if you can at least identify that you do that, then you're already out of the bubble. And you can then look in and be like, okay, that was dumb. You're an idiot for that. Don't do that again. And then if you do it again, you know that it's your choice. It's not like nothing's just happening to anybody. Like, 9 out of 10 things that you do that happen to you in life is a direct reaction to an action you took, whether it be earlier that day, earlier that week, a month before. It's a direct reaction to something. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, if we could just start the journey, that's half the battle right there.
Oh yeah, man. Accountability is huge.
Absolutely. That's the word. Accountability. Absolutely.
Got you, man. Well, is there anything else you wanted to cover? It's all
that's
open.
it, bro. I mean, that's it. Unless there was something else you wanted to ask. No,
I'm trying to. Yeah, when's the new Brodesy coming out?
I I don't know. I told FaZe I'm ready. I'm waiting on him to start sending me beats. I told him like, yo, it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
That project is special to me. That project is special. It's fire, bro. The way it came together was dope too. Like the man really is a genius, FaZe. Like all of the sound bites within the project, that's all old Jodeci interviews. You know what I mean? So, and that was like a collaborative idea because he had some other crazy, he's a maniac. He has some other off the wall idea that I'm not even going to get into. But I was like, we're not doing that. How about we do this? And then he was like, oh, okay. And then that's when his gear started,
putting
moving.
it all together.
Yeah. But that project is dope. I feel like we all were on a very high level rapping there. And honestly, it's been a minute since I've heard that many FaZe verses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that we could get, what is it, like 11 songs, 12? So the fact we can get 12 FaZe verses is fucking bananas. You know what I mean? So definitely a dope project.
But I'm going to shout out to FaZe. I'm going to help him get the website together pretty much by helping him. I mean, just keep telling his ass to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Either that or I'm going to buy it out from under him and hold it hostage.
Man, bro. He's an old man, bro. Like he's to the point in his life where he only does what he fully wants to do, which is why I respect him so much because he's that dope off the strength of just wanting to do it.
He's Andre 3000.
Exactly.
He could put out a bass clarinet flute album.
Exactly. And it's gonna go. Somebody's gonna be like, yo, this is fucking fire. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was getting ready this morning to that. It's healing energy. Clean your house to that Andre 3000 album.
That's what I've heard.
Burn a little sage.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, man. It's interesting the track titles too.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a body of work, bro. It's something. I haven't tapped into it. I just haven't been I don't think I've been in the mental space to tap into it really. Like we gotta want to listen to that and want to calm, be calm or whatever.
Well, don't do this. Don't tell yourself you're going to sit down and listen to the whole album.
Right.
It's like 15-minute tracks. You know what I mean?
Right.
You could throw on one track, get a vibe of it, and then come back to it. And it's like it's the little dancing. He like paints little bits with the clarinet, but there's like one overall bass line or theme, and it just kind of builds up. But it's more like when I'm designing, I'll throw it on. If I'm cleaning house or something that
for sure
I don't need to really be listening to or paying attention to like that,
For sure.
But shout out to Andre 3000. Go check out that new album. Go check out any of the things from the catalog. You got the Love Factory. You got Top 5 volumes 1 through 3. You got I can't think of it. No Fun Intended.
So we got Moment. In order it goes Moment, Top 5 Volume 1, Love Factory, Top 5 Volume 2. No, Brodesy somewhere in there. And then Volume 3. And then, Greedy Season 2, which is a YouTube exclusive. Greedy Season 1, which is a YouTube exclusive. And then Volume 3. And then No Fun Intended. And then we got Greedy Season 2 on the way. So yeah, the back catalog is there. Don't be afraid of the catalog, guys. It's there for a reason. Artists put out this much music to be listened to. We don't put things out with an expiration date. Like it's there forever. If it wasn't there forever, we'd be taking them down after they ran their course. So, definitely tap into the catalog. And I appreciate you for, taking the time to, take those steps back and check out a Moment or a Love Factory or a Volume 1 or 2. That means a lot.
I appreciate all of it. I'll hit you up in the messenger with personal tracks as I figure stuff out. That's the thing that's always cool too, to have an artist that's accessible.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean? That I can say here, because regardless of what you're doing it for, no artist that I've met doesn't want to hear, oh, I picked up on that little thing that you did or stuff. In that last track that you just played, right before the beat switched up, the drums came back in and you switched the beginning sounds to like and obliged and like hard sounds.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, was that you or FaZe?
No, that's so.
Did you do that on purpose?
All the drops that you hear, like, if I were to play you the masters, and I don't mean the master mixes, I mean like the original recordings of all these songs, they'd be the most boring songs in the world because the beat doesn't change.
Yeah.
Like I said, he sends me the 4 bars, and then I just pull that into Logic and then just extend it, and then I create a whole song off of that. Like even joints like what is it called? Freestyle 001 on No Fun Intended. Like that was just like the meat and potatoes of the beat. That's all I had. And I just extended it and I rapped for like 3 minutes, and then FaZe goes in and he adds the drops. What I do to assist with that is the pattern changes or delivery changes or the ad-lib structure, might shift on the last 4 bars of the verse. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like an unspoken language that me and FaZe speak. Like I feel like I send him the vocals, he lines everything up, and he hears it how I hear it in my head. The actual song structure. Sometimes I might ask him like, "Hey, send me the stems. I'm gonna do some drops, and you just do the same drops that I did and add whatever you want to add." But that's mad rare. That probably happened twice. Yeah. But no, it's like a weird unspoken language that we speak. Like I send him the vocals, and then he sends me it back, and it's like pretty much like 8 out of 10 the way that I heard it in my mind. So like the chemistry between me and FaZe is super, super dope, especially being 2,000 miles away. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like both of those projects, I recorded out here, I recorded out there, he mixed out here. So you're talking about a 2,000 mile distance between 2 creatives, and it still sounds like we were in there.
In the studio.
Yeah. It's really dope.
That's super dope.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to hear the dope stuff. Good luck tonight. I'm sure you spit some fire in the studio last night.
Yeah. Verse is crazy.
So I'll be curious to hear when it all comes together. Thanks for letting me in on your process. I didn't know about the not writing and stuff like that. So that makes me appreciate the music even more.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming through, man.
Absolutely.
This has been I Will Not Lose podcast. Thank you for listening.
Love.
Thank you for listening to another episode of I Will Not Lose podcast. To support the show, visit iwillnotlosepodcast.com. You can subscribe to your favorite podcast player, share the episode link, leave a comment. Your contribution is greatly appreciated. And if you're listening in and can't see the QR code for donation, go to tothedesigner.com/links, and there's instructions to donate up there. Thanks so much.